Hi, this is Cosmic Mike coming to you live from peachvitamins.com in Atlanta Bucket. Today is Friday and it's Cosmic Friday. I thought I would cover a little topic on hair loss. Since today is National Beautician's Day, and of course, I'm in that phase of my life where I'm losing a lot of hair. I don't know about you, but coming close to 50, I'm really losing a bunch of hair. And my kids keep taking a picture of my scalp every day on their phones and keep showing me, Dad, you're losing hair, you're getting old. So I thought let's cover a little bit on that. Just give you an idea. Of course, we all know we all are going through some of this stuff. Age is one of the biggest factor in losing hair. It's a part of life, of course, and we shouldn't stress ourselves too much about it. For females, yes, it's a little more stressful. For guys, it's not as much. But in general, the biggest thing, of course, is age, and then hair loss can also occur with hormonal changes. As the females or the male, they might see when it's the time of the month or menstrual cycle that they lose more hair, or high estrogens, of course, they may lose more hair. And particularly there is an androgens, which are also excessive androgens in the female body, which can cause a lot of the hair loss. The other few reasons for men, it's basically testosterone. I mean, there's not necessarily, but high testosterone can, convert into what they call DHT, which is what causes the hair loss or the hair fall. But that's natural as we age. And as you'll see when I mention in Ayurveda, you are in that particular stage or that age group after 40, 45, you're more Vata. And that's where Vata is the energy of motion in the universe, of course, the cosmos, and us. So we are in that stage when we are aging beyond 45. Bones will get brittle, hair fall. Also, hair is a byproduct. Hair and nails are byproducts of your bones. And as you're aging, those are getting brittle, hence the brittleness in the hair follicles too. The other thing, of course, stress is a big factor. More stressed you are on a daily basis, or the times or situations where you're stressed, you will lose a lot of hair. A lot of you know my nephew, Sunil. I don't want to mention his name, but I just did. He seems to have lost a lot of hair. I mean, going through medical college and medical school, and he's finally become a doctor. So I can see he's lost. And I have a couple of friends who have done the same. And so stress can play a huge factor, and how that relates to, of course, your hormones, because technically it's really the hormones. There could be some, deficiency in nutrients and such, but that I think it's very rare, or you can easily fill those. I mean, of course, the hair follicles are made of proteins. Of course, keratin is one of the biggest. 97% of the hair is made of the protein keratin, and keratin is really formed by collagen. So as we age, again, collagen also reduces, which is your fluid, which is your cartilage between your joints and stuff, your skin, of course. So as that reduces, it also will reduce the keratin levels in the hair, thus making the hair a lot weaker and falling much easier. The other situations, of course, could be medication. A lot of medications may have some side effects for hair loss. So you may want to look at your pharmacist, talk to your pharmacist regarding these medications that you could be doing for cholesterol, for, blood pressure and things like that. Thyroid, big concern, of course. Hypothyroidism is also a big factor in, falling hair in women. So I don't think you can really stop, because if there's a product that's going to say, we're stopping the hair loss completely, I don't think that can happen, because there are a lot of factors that are coming in here: age, hormones, stress, and I don't think all of them could be controlled at the same time. Yes, you could lessen the fact that the hair is falling, or your genetics are so good that your parents, didn't have that kind of hair fall. For me, my parents, my dad, I'm pretty much receding hairline. My mom's hair is very thin. My brother's are similar. So we have this kind of genetic thing, and I'm sure some of you may have that too. And some of you, I have many friends who have great amount of hair, and I don't know if they're losing it, but their hair looks perfectly fine. So let's take a look at what are the other things we could do. Now, of course, I want to mention also there's a lack of oxygen into the brain. When there's a lack of oxygen into the brain, of course, there's a lack of blood flow. Blood flow means lack of nutrients. And that's where we could address the blood flow situation, where you could do in yoga the asanas that are helping you, like bend down, or at least, stand upside down, to kind of increase that flow into your brain and your head, because we are technically standing all day. So gravity is pulling the other way all day. There is not a time where we are inverted, where more blood flow is allowed into this part and going up. So that would increase some of the circulation. Breath is very important. So in the pranayams, I would say Kapalbhati is very much tuned in for increasing or helping with or increasing nutrients into the brain, of course, and blood flow into the brain. The other one I would say Anulom Vilom. It's also great if you're practicing that. I'm sure a lot of you are. That's really beneficial in bringing some of that air, some of that oxygen into the brain cells, of course, then blood flow and nutrients into the brain cells. The herbs I have seen, since we're talking about Ayurveda, in Ayurveda, the herbs I've seen, any rasayanas herbs that they're called, or anti-aging herbs. Haritaki is one of those, I would say, is really essential or really benefits in growth of hair or preventing a lot of the hair loss. I like oils, coconut oil. That's what I use to massage my hair. I'm sure as kids in India, we get these massages, or we used to get these massages from our parents or whatever, every Sundays. But I do it every day, just going to give it 5 minutes of massage of the scalp, because that stimulates that hair growth. It stimulates that scalp area. So it stimulates some of that nutrients flowing in. And maybe I'm preventing some of my hair fall. I'm already having some. Maybe I'm preventing a lot of it happening. So that's one thing you could try, definitely. I use coconut oil. You could use coconut, olive oil. Those are one of the best things I've seen for hair growth or graying of the hair. And in supplements, in the 20 years that I've seen, there are a lot of studies done with biotin. I mean, in the markets, you will see, of course, biotin is touted as one of the best things for, growth of hair. We do have these gummies, or we have the capsules and such that you will see on our website. You can definitely try that, because biotin, again, is a B vitamin, which is also essential in managing stress. But it also helps, all B vitamins or a B complex help with absorption of nutrients in your gut, in your gut lining. So that's where it's indirectly kind of helping. And definitely you can try that. Definitely you can improve that in there. I've also seen amino acids, particularly L-cysteine amino acid. L-methionine also is another amino acid that's helped a lot, or helps a lot with hair growth or hair fall. There are a lot of studies done with that. And of course, nowadays everybody's looking at collagen. This is just one of the brands that we have. It's a collagen powder. Just bear in mind the collagen does come from an animal source, usually beef or pork or some chicken, and some, of course, marine also. So vegetarians, technically there is no vegetarian collagen. And as we mentioned earlier, collagen can stimulate some of that keratin, which is, of course, in most of it, the protein that's in the hair. So over the years, I've seen all these different supplements and different nutrients that we sell for hair growth and hair fall. And I've seen a lot of research behind it. And of course, clients coming back and claiming, yes, it works. Of course, some do say, it didn't do anything, because everybody's very different. Every individual is different. Every individual is have their own issues, or I would say they're going through their own hormonal changes. And that's where we come in. That's where I come in, where I would sit with you and consult with you and kind of understand your history and understand your genetics, understand your parents and where you're coming from, your activities. Like in the Ayurveda, it would be more of a vata increasing issue. So we would bring in diets and bring in supplements going to pacify the vata. And of course, so when I saw this 2 years ago, I came up with my own little formula. This is my own brand, the EcoFlow Naturals. I will be talking more about this. But I kind of put all those that we just talked about kind of in there. The biotin, there's 5,000 micrograms of biotin. There's collagen. There is the methionine. So I kind of added a few different things already in there. In the Chinese use a particular herb that's called pho tea, which they have used for centuries. And that is also, just like the haritaki, it's a rejuvenating kind of herb. So it helps a lot of different things, and hair loss or hair graying is one of those things that it really helps with. So looking at pho tea, haritaki, that's basically for in Ayurveda. In the supplement realm, I would look at biotin, collagen, of course, a good multivitamin, vitamin C, E, the amino acids, L-cysteine, L-methionine. But of course, we do have a combination. That's a whole combination of those right there. And you can get that on our website. But we can sit down, or you can give us a call, give me a call, and we can sit down and figure out what medications you're doing, if it's a thyroid issue, if it's an absorption of the gut issue. So when I sit with someone, I would recommend a lot of these different things to them so they can incorporate those in their life, and then basic lifestyle, daily lifestyle. Because I think everything helps, because there's not one thing. Again, if there was one thing, then that's what we'd be selling, and that's what be all over the market. Because this market is also, it's basically money driven. It's driven by these companies, of course, who are trying to make money, and they would go out of their way to market that particular ingredient or that product. But there are studies done, like I mentioned. So in men, I would say, good fats improve their hormones. In women also, eating essential fatty acids like the omega-3s or coconut oil or butter, because I'm a big fan of having more fat. And I'm going to talk more about this in one of my other episodes where we look at the keto diet, because I'm sure some of you have been doing that, or some of you may have thought of doing that. So I'm going to clarify a lot of things with the keto diet. I came into this when the Atkins diet was pretty big in the 90s, and I've been living that kind of lifestyle since then. A little bit more fat, higher protein and lower carbs. And I think that also can cause more of the hair loss, because I'm converting too much protein. I realize that. So you see, everything is in a balance. And fatty acids, very important. So those improve, your hormones, like we mentioned. And then there are also some nutrients that can block some of the testosterone. Now, if you get your blood tested, of course, through the doctors, and they see that your testosterone is at a peak level or too high, then definitely we could take, there's a product called Chrysin. Chrysin is another ingredient that we could use to block that DHT, because remember, a lot of the testosterone is going to turn either to estrogen or DHT, which is causing a lot of this hair loss. In the past, I've always worn a lot of caps, and I think that also contributes to a lot of the hair, because you're pulling or stressing that hair follicle. So if it's weak, then obviously it's going to fall off pretty quick. But as we age, this is a part of aging, so I would not worry too much about it. I would not take a look as much into it. But there are a lot of nutrients, a lot of things available, so we can look at that. And I hope this helped out a little bit. So I just want to mention, on Monday, we'll be doing Vedic Monday, where we'll be covering the doshas, the basic doshas, and how they are helping and how they incorporate into the cosmos, the Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, and how we come into that. So tune in on Monday, and hope you like, and please give us a like or a comment. That would be awesome. And you can follow us on Instagram also. We're on Instagram at Peach Vitamins. Thank you. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good one.